Hey, what's up? Scott Balcombe here with Imagination Creation Films, and today we're talking about teleprompters, what to look for when buying one, and why you might need one. So one of the questions I get asked a lot, and I see it posted all over the internet, is what is everybody using for a teleprompter? And I have an actual really good answer for that. But first, let's dive into what is a teleprompter and why may you need one. You need a teleprompter when you want to keep close contact, close focus with your audience, with your subject matter, and you have something more than a sentence or two that you need to get out verbally, correctly, and seamlessly. And that's where a teleprompter comes in, because what it's doing is it's placing the text right on the lens itself in a mirror that you can read, and because it's so small, people don't see your eyes doing this number, and you can read it. It looks fairly natural. Cases where teleprompters are not used, when you're looking off to the side. And even when you're looking off to the side, sometimes teleprompters are used, but not that often. Cue cards are used sometimes, or just interviewees talking off this way. But when you want to connect to your audience and you want to get your message out in a clear, concise, predetermined nature, then that's when you want a teleprompter. And what is a teleprompter? Well, a teleprompter is it's just a screen that has text on it and a one-way mirror, which pretty much all mirrors are one way, but don't give me that. And then a way to enclose all of that. So when you have a teleprompter, you're going to reflect the screen or the monitor or whatever you're using. In this case, I use an iPad off of that mirror, and then the lens shoots through that mirror itself. And so the coatings on this mirror, and this is important because there's a lot of people that go out there and try to do it with a piece of glass or a piece of plexiglass, and that is not the best teleprompter, and it will cause problems. The best teleprompters are 80-20 or 70-30 reflective glass. Now, what 80-20 means is that 80% of the light is blocked going that way, which means it is reflected. And 80% of the light comes through the back of it without interruption. 20% is cut off just by the reflectivity. Now, what that allows is to be able to shoot the lens through that glass and get through that reflectivity so that you can be able to record your subject. You will have a little bit of light loss. But when I look back this way, I don't see the lens. I see what is reflected at the bottom or mirrored at the bottom. And in my case, that is an iPad. Some people use LCD monitors. In the old days, they actually used CRT monitors. Why that reflectivity is important versus glass, because glass does have some reflectivity, but it's going to get that image into your lens, and it's going to affect your ability to get a clean, clear picture. In addition, it may make it harder for you to read what is being reflected on there. So we've got the specialized mirror, and these mirrors are not cheap. So if you get a good mirror, you're talking about $115, $130 just for the little plate of glass about that big, because it's specialized. And believe me, I have had teleprompters. Well, I've been using them since the 90s, but I've built teleprompters all the way back to 2000, and I built them out of cardboard. I built them out of sheets. I've built them out of plexiglass. I have learned all these bad lessons along the way, and I finally realized to buy one, or if you want to build a good one with a good piece of glass, that's perfectly fine. And there are places out there you can find 80-20 reflective glass. Just look that up. Then the other reason that I bought one over the ones that I had built was speed, ease of use, compactness, all of that. Now, the other thing to do as well is when you have a teleprompter is you need to cut all the light that might be coming through, because a light is allowed to come through it this way. You want to make sure that no light gets through the backside of it. And so you use a shroud or cloth that will basically wrap around that lens and keep any light from coming through. That'll give you the cleanest possible reflection that you can do. Now, the one that I use, and this is the one that I bought like 4 or 5 years ago, and quite honestly, it is the coolest teleprompter, and I continue to recommend this one. Number one, because it's extremely affordable. And by teleprompter standards, it's extremely affordable. It is extremely durable, and it's extremely compact. This is it. Looks kind of like a laptop. This is your teleprompter. Now, this is the version that has the 15 millimeter rods, which I highly recommend, but this is it. Let's open it up and you'll see what I'm talking about. It is simple design. It is made out of kind of a reinforced plastic, but now if you look, raise up the shroud in the back, you can see through. That's what the lens sees. And that's why it's important for you to block all of the light that's coming through. So this is what you would see yourself. Now, what it uses is right here, there's a tray. And this tray can use any tablet, any 10-inch or 7-inch tablet. I use my iPad 7-inch a lot. You can use the iPad regular, the 10-inch iPad as well. And you can see that's not very bright. Let's turn this on. Now that is the weather for my house. So yeah, it's kind of cold right now. So what this is reflecting what's on the bottom here up to the mirror and going out that way. You can see that right there. There's the mirror, and it's a very simple, this is kind of just a nice little plastic, and it folds down really compact. Now, what makes this so cool is the price. This thing is less than $400 with the rod attachments. And so you'd slide this on your rod mount and put your lens up to it, take your shroud and attach it onto your lens, and you have a clean teleprompter. I mean, it's as easy as that. Oh, something just shifted in here. No, I'm just kidding. I had to replace the battery and I bumped the camera. So another question that people ask is, which software do you use? And since I use the iPad, I use what's called Teleprompt Plus 3. It is, or Teleprompt 3 Plus, one of those two. It's a very simple app. You download the text into this. I just use Dropbox, or you can use AirDrop, anything like that. Get it in here. It automatically will write itself, but you need one that can and there we go. Now we're teleprompting, and we're breaking down the inverse square law and why it matters to you. Now, the other thing that you need to be able to do is control the speed. Now, this does have speed controls here. So there is, up here, there's a rabbit and a tortoise, and you can scroll that back and forth. What I like to use are these foot pedals. These are by AirTurn. There's a couple of others. If you go out to OneTakeOnly, which is the pad prompter people, they recommend the teleprompt software as well as several different remote control devices. These are kind of expensive. These are about $100. This is the old style. Like I said, I've had this for a long time. They have a newer version that has a little more adjustability, but this allows 2 Bluetooth switches. And I just put those down by my feet. One of them stops and starts, and the other one will go back. So you can make marks in your prompt that says, this is a paragraph mark, this is a paragraph mark, this is a paragraph mark. And by doing that, if I click the left one, it'll go back up and start that paragraph again. Then I just hit start and it keeps going. So if it's going too fast for me, I can click it and it will stop. And then as soon as I just tap it again, it starts again. Now there are a lot of different options. There's a hand control, there's remote control types, there's single clickers. This is a foot operated one, but I do like this AirTurn. I'll put a link to all of this down below. The thing I like about this is it doesn't matter if I'm sitting or standing. I can click this with my feet, and it's kind of natural. You don't really see it when I'm doing it. I've been doing it for, well, I mean, as long as you've seen the teleprompter stuff, which you probably didn't know I was doing, or maybe you did, it's been done with that. Even when I'm at my desk, those are sitting down at my feet, and I just tap away and, do my teleprompting. And Teleprompters is an art form, so you need to learn what your normal speaking voice is and your normal cadence that you speak, and then add in pauses or commas or dots, whatever you want to do in your teleprompter software, and you get the feeling of how you're going to read. It took me about 10 or so times of doing it, and you can actually, if you go back and watch some of my old videos, you can tell when I wasn't quite adapted yet. But after about 10, I realized I would just speak it back, and I would hear the speed at which I'm talking, because I talk just like this normally, and I would like it to come through clean and just like I'm not using a teleprompter. So I put lots of commas in there, and that allows me to speak like this. So that's one of the things. If you hear people when they kind of bring that sentence to an end, then they built in pauses in their teleprompter. That's industry secret there, but it's not really a secret. But that's what I do. That's what a lot of other people do. And it allows you to inject a little more of your human sense into your conversation. Also, a lot of times I just stop it and I just go off on a tangent. And I do that because that is my style of speaking. So to prompt me and script everything that I do is pretty hard for me, because that's not how I operate. I just go 100 miles an hour. Your mileage may vary. So yeah, that is a look at the OneTakeOnly Pad Prompter. It is literally my favorite. It is the one I recommend. I am not paid by them in any way. They don't even know I exist. Maybe after this video they might. But yeah, I'm going to put a link to that and the software and the AirTurn Bluetooth controllers down below. They are an Amazon affiliate link, so if you click them, I will get a small percentage, but you already know that. But yeah, if you have any questions or comments about teleprompters or anything else, put them in the comment section down below. I do try to read and respond to each and every one, even if it's just to say thanks. Remember to subscribe to this channel, because I've got lots of stuff coming out. It's been kind of chaotic and hectic, but I'm constant. It's going to happen. And, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. I do have a Patreon or a PayPal if you wish to support me that way. You'll find those down below. And if you want to buy anything off of Amazon, if you would, just go down there and click on any one of my links, and just from there do your shopping. It will give me a small percentage, and it really helps, because right now this is a lot of income, and it's not a lot of income that I'm counting on to eat at the moment. So, help a brother out, and yeah, as always, as I like to leave it, don't let your passions center around your life. Let your life center around your passions.